I am Sabrina McCorder. I'm the Manager of Business and Innovation for SOAR, and I thank you all for coming. We're going to have a really incredible speed pitch competition, which is brand new. Following this session, after Kelby and the amazing Kentucky SBDC do a quick presentation, so please sign up. There is a sign-up sheet at the back. It's an elevator pitch. You don't have to have anything crazy fancy today. Quick 2 minutes on the stage with a mic, and we have checks. So we want you to join us. I'm going to turn it over to Kelby, who I think is, are you coming up here on the stage? Are you staying down here? All right, that's fun. He is the managing partner for Keyhorse Capital, which is the investment arm of KSTC. So everybody, welcome Kelby.
Thanks, folks. This works for you, right? I just want to stand up there. I don't have my my gospel ready, so I'll sit. It would help for me to understand what you guys want to hear. So maybe who you are, whether you have a company and you're trying to get some money to grow that company, or maybe you help other folks. I know you help other folks. Who else helps other folks? Okay. Do any of those folks take on new money to grow their businesses? Yeah. One, two, some? Okay. And then any folks who are on the business side who, take on money to grow what they're doing? Anybody? One entrepreneur. Okay. Good to know. So I want to provide a little bit of context. This is about pitch decks. I think I can give a little context here, but I think it's helpful to understand who you're pitching and target that pitch to what their capabilities are or what they do. So if you're pitching a bank, or if you're pitching, random rich person down the street, or if you're pitching a customer, those are different things, and just be attuned to your audience. So this is one type of investor that you could conceivably pitch. Venture capital, the capital is money, cash, and the venture part refers to the risky nature of what we do with that cash. So not a bank. They don't like to do risky things, and I'm glad that they don't like to do risky things, because that's where I keep my money safe. This is risky stuff. So it's a type, what do we do with the cash we invest? That's referred to as financing. We're actually buying a portion of a company. We're handing over money, and we're getting something in exchange, units or shares in that organization. By company, remember we talk about risk. The companies are usually younger. They don't know what they're doing yet. There's a lot of risk involved, but there's high potential. And that offsets that risk. There's a belief that over the long term, that risk could be offset by a really large market, a really large exit, or you could expand nationally or globally. That's why this type of capital exists. So let's say 1 out of 10 investments actually works, but it works so well it pays for all the risky ones. That's just the balance of how this works. Having that context, I think, is helpful. So if you're doing a pitch deck, or if you're pitching your opportunity, know what that capital is trying to do and what it's looking for, and whether it's a right fit for what you're trying to build. So I think about this type of capital as, once you've got this setting right, we understand this is a really risky thing, but it has a really big potential. I think McDonald's versus the neighborhood restaurant, those are different scale, different types of potential. The capital gives you some time to figure some things out, right? If everything's already figured out and the business is working perfectly and we know what's happening, it's at scale, there's really not a lot of benefit to investing and having a dollar grow, right? It's already there. So the time that you get with your money is to figure out the actual innovation, how to approach customers, how to target markets, how to do all kinds of things that you have to do to build your business. You can't read that, but the point up here is venture capital is an emerging industry. it really doesn't know what it's doing in many ways. And lots of folks are unique. So if you went to the west side of town and asked a wealthy person for money to help your business, and then you went to the east side of town and found a wealthy person to help your business, they're probably going to be different, right? It's the same wealth, it's still a wealthy person, but maybe somebody's interested in technology and someone interested in real estate. Someone's interested in a short term because they're older and they want to get that closer to their grandkids. Somebody's younger and they've got a 20-year horizon on when they could get a return. So there's really nothing definitive about venture versus maybe a bank loan. A lot of things are a lot more defined, right? They're looking for a certain interest rate, a certain level of collateral, whether your car or your home is worth them lending you money at a certain amount of time. So understand that it's imperfect and it's evolving. Back to the pitch deck. So I wanted to provide that context a little bit, but there's some basic, simple parts, right? We don't see in our business 100-page business plans anymore. We see short presentations like this that illustrate a couple elements. Often the companies, again, we're looking at are high risk, but could really reach a lot of people. And so we just wanted some basics. We're learning about them when they're young and they're just starting out, and that's what they are. I look at it a little different order. And like I said, it's an evolving industry, so everybody looks at this differently. Team, I put traction in front of product because at the earliest stages, a lot of companies don't really know what their product is. They're trying to figure it out. And so traction is there evidence that people are responding to them? Have they talked to hundreds and hundreds of folks to really understand the problem? Market, I pushed that up a little bit. Is it a market outside of your own backyard, outside of your own community, your city? Can it go beyond your state? Can it go global? Like, how big is the market? And I bumped that up a little bit. So I just changed the order. But these are some basics, pretty simple. Product, I usually get away from. Again, at the earliest stage of a new thing, it's hard to understand the product. If you think you know what your product is and you haven't sold it yet, you're probably wrong. If we break it down a little bit, there are some details that I think are more interesting. So if you're doing a pitch deck, describing these things and communicating them, and an investor understanding that you have some insight is really helpful to me personally. What I mean by that is, can you speak to the problem? Does this solution make sense? And is there evidence of the fact that that product is going to fit and be taken up by the market itself? So there's some details there. I'm going to dive into three kind of main areas. Again, building a pitch deck is unique. You should, when you're describing your business, know who the audience is. If you're a very young business, you don't have a lot of evidence, there's not a lot of customers, then what else are we going to talk about? This is the first place most people start. So they usually talk about team first. I think about a concept of like founder market fit. If two people came up to you and described this new business they were going to do, and one came from 20 years in the industry and really understood a problem, and the other one just thought up this idea in the shower and it should be a good idea, and they've never even stepped into that industry, you've got, which one has a little bit more relevance? So that founder market fit can be evidenced by different things. And you got to give the evidence. Like, think about if you were the investor, what would convince you? What would sound like someone knows what they're talking about? That's what I mean by the founder market fit. And then the team. Is there a team, right? If there isn't, help help understand how it's going to be more than just you. So if you think about an individual starting a business, there's a lot of risk in that one person. They may decide they want to do other things. They may get sick. They may have other kinds of risks and responsibilities. Where's the diversity and sort of safety in a broader team? If you happen to have co-founders or other folks that can help you, even if they're contractors, we're looking for what's the evidence that there's a group of people that can fill in where you're weak, because everybody's weak in certain parts, and round out a team, or that your ability is to find those folks. So if you're the closet nerd who is, focused on engineering and has poor communication skills and can't recruit, a smart young salesperson, if their life depended on it, that's kind of a difficult thing. So you got to provide evidence that either you have the resources, or you can get the resources, or you can interact with people, or there's some ability there. So that's key early in the business. Down to a couple details on that, the product part. I really don't want to know a whole lot of details about the specific thing and you describing the solution. Again, it's early. We're looking at companies that are creating something new. I really want to know more about who's going to buy the thing and why they're going to buy it and what the pain is and how you know about it. Are you the customer, right? Is this a problem in an industry that you worked in that you always wish you had, right? The solution to this thing. And you can articulate that. That's a much stronger argument. And if you haven't sold it yet, that first version is probably going to change. So I really don't want to know about a bunch of details about the version that you have. Teach me about this unfair insight that you have that nobody else has about this particular set of customers or this market, or how people solve the problem today and why it's not good enough, and why they'd be even willing to take 10 minutes and learn about your thing, or even try your thing, or even adopt your thing, is a much more important piece, because I know you're going to change it, right? You're going to make it better. So really don't care about the product. Care about understanding the problem, some sort of evidence. And for us at these earliest stages, evidence can be really broad, but I think it applies to, in your work and our work, a lot of things. If you have evidence that people will take your phone call, out of 100 people you tried, 90 people took your phone call. That's evidence of something. We don't know what it is yet. It might be that you have charm. That's helpful. That'll help de-risk what we're doing. It may be evidence that the subject that in the industry that you're talking about is important and people get excited about. It may be evidence that you're touching on a particular pain point, and that really concerns them, so they want to take time out of their day and talk to you. So I just went real deep on evidence. Could be responsiveness of folks at the earliest stages of a business. If they're not answering your call and they don't give you time of day, again, why do I care about this, right? Even if it's a nice, shiny, beautiful product, if nobody's willing to talk to you about it, you can't get their attention, and they don't really care, or they don't care as much as the other thing. It's really, it really indicates there's a lot more risk in this business opportunity than you may think. I want to stick on that evidence for a minute. If people do a thing, right? If they fill out a form that you've requested, they describe information about their business or their problem, because you're going to provide a service or solution, right? They've spent that much more extra time. If they give you their phone number, if they give you their email address, I don't give my phone number out to everybody. I don't give my email address out to everyone. I don't spend time filling out every form. But if I did, it's a level of evidence right? It's a level of commitment to what? Well, don't know yet. It could be, again, concern about the problem, that this is really important. And then we go on from there, right? That's just the beginning, right? Perhaps you have a thing and you've given it away to people in order to test it. And they actually did the thing, you know. I took the cup and I filled it up with my coffee and I drank out of it, and I saw them a week later and they were still using the cup. Well, that's interesting, right? It's sticky. They like the thing. We haven't talked about money yet, right? But I've got this thing. Every time I give a cup away, people carry the darn cup around all week long and they fill it up with coffee and it's great, right? I bet, Mr. Investor, that they love it enough that I could probably start charging them. Okay. Again, this is super early stage. This seems very mundane, probably simple to you, but understanding the evidence and the things that you've discovered in the world is helpful to me, because I don't know that industry. You know it. I don't know those customers. You've interacted with them. So having some evidence is helpful. And we kind of sum all that up into a product market fit as a phrase. You know, is there an appetite for it, what you're doing or selling? And how tight is that a fix, right? They got to have it, or, you know, people not even answering your phone call. Traction, again, another word for that evidence, but maybe a little further along. Maybe actually have a thing, and you can talk about how easy it was to get it in people's hands, how ripe they are for it, how hungry they are for it. Again, presenting this in a story, in a presentation format, is where we are today with these earliest companies, not a long business plan. So just some things that we look for. Lastly, one that jumps out to me is the market. Is this, I don't know, let's draw a difference. You're a baker, right? You're gonna make some bread. You make that bread in a corner bakery, and we can all envision that. You put it in the bag and people take it home, and it lasts a couple days, and they slice and they eat it, and everybody's happy. It's probably going to be a rather difficult thing to scale that bakery across the country. Not that you couldn't do it, just a difficult thing. It'll be easier to sell in your local market. Let's say you're a baker who's figured out how, or on the path to figuring out how to make self-baking bread. Comes in a package, and when you shake it, it bakes itself. And it's got a 2-year shelf life. All right. Those factors lead my mind to a much bigger market that you could possibly reach. You could store them up, you can ship them across the country and the planet probably. People could take them to outer space. Like, there's a lot of people that could potentially consume, buy, be interested in that thing, and you probably could figure out a way to service those folks. Big market, small market. How big is your market? And then how well do you know, and do you know better than I, information about that market? Do you know what those people look like and smell like? What do they do on a daily basis? How big is this thing? How is it changing? The market dynamics, you have an insight into it today. Now tell me where it's going to be in the future. Educate me. And then, you know, all that comes down to what I really care about is how big can your company grow, right? How do I turn $1 into $10? Remember, I took the dollar and we're buying into your company. Now we're a partner with you. We own a percentage of it. And at some point, what we're really interested in is getting out. You're interested in your product and your business. We're interested in your product or your business for a short period of time. And if you can tell that story, then maybe we're going to pay attention. And then timing. You may be describing space travel. I might have the opinion that maybe you're a little early in that market. Or you might be describing something that really looks to me like Velcro. I'd say you're a little late to that market. Timing is an important piece. Are we, again, looking at something that's growing, an action that people are taking that they're going to do more of in the future. How is this going to be a bigger thing? Remember, we got to offset the risk. This may not have been done before. This is a new, novel type thing, and I need to have my eyes need to get big at the potential and sort of buy into your vision, and that could actually happen now, and it makes enough sense. That's really it. Those are the things that jump out to me. I'd encourage also have an ask. Remember, back to a pitch deck, if you're presenting your story in a logical way, touching on those themes in terms of team and product and problem in the market, you may frame them different from a customer or an investor or someone who's going to help you, or a potential colleague, right? You're pitching to recruit a partner. Have an ask. If you think maybe it's not the right fit for a particular investor because you know the kind of things they like to do, maybe they really like real estate, you can still pitch them. Maybe your ask is different. Maybe the ask is introduce me to somebody else. But have an ask regardless, because otherwise, what are you doing? Well, actually, I'll back up a second. Any questions on all of that? And then I'm going to ask my time check, and then I'll tell you who the heck we are. We're good on time? Any questions? I know that was a lot. Yes?
Well, and I don't know if you want to get into this much, but I know there's a large stream of research and entrepreneurship about the jockey and the horse, and it also comes up in PE discussions. For some of the younger entrepreneurs, could you talk to them about the balance between, I know you're not interested in the particular widget that's solving the problem, but the horse being the problem that exists and you have some type of solution versus just marketing yourself as the jockey. The balance in that.
You're right. There's got to be a balance. I think the balance sways more towards jockey the earlier the thing is. Like I was trying to probably not articulate very well. On the jockey side, is there evidence that you are clearly capable of interacting with other people, of researching, of experimenting, of reaching out and trying to gather evidence? Like, do you have that capacity? That as we work with very young companies and very early stage companies, we've just found that resilience, that kind of determination is necessary because nobody's right the first time. And if there's more evidence that you're going to try it and figure something out and try it and figure something out, it kind of doesn't matter, just that it's increasing, right? It's getting better. I went from being able to, discover and get 10 people to react to me and my questions about their problems to getting 100 people. I mean, that's some evidence, some clarity. That's much heavier. I would put that much more heavily weighted with the earlier stage companies because there's a lot to learn and there's a lot of mistakes to be made. But yeah, clearly you could go too far. And we're not looking for Instagram famous. You're really good at selling yourself. I mean, clearly the other part to balance is the product or actual problem that you're solving. Has to be interesting and it has to be back to the marketplace, a big enough problem for enough people that they're willing to give you some money. Yes.
Let me ask a follow-on.
This is my boss.
Well, in a follow-on question that might be helpful is, I'll stay with the jockey analogy, right? There's thoroughbreds, and then there are I don't know what they are, but the trotter guys that ride the little carriage. How important is it that the founder is deep? So if I use your bread example, I've got a lot of experience with software, and now I'm going to do self-baking bread. Versus, I've done 6 startups and 5 have been successful. So is it more important that I'm a successful startup person, or more successful that I know a lot about self-pay thread?
Depends on the nature of the problem. And then again, reserve the right to change your mind. Can you, if you've done things a lot of times, you've probably addressed a lot of risks in business. The risk to attract talent and them like you and appreciate you and grow with you and help you build your company. The risk to find customers that help you finance your company and buy the thing and understand the problem that they have. Like, you've done that a number of times. And you could probably do that again. Not guarantee, but it's a nice evidence. The subject matter expertise, I don't know. If part of the biggest risk to the particular thing that you're doing is that it's a really novel technical innovation, you know, let's give an alternative example. You know, the food that people put in boxes and you buy it on a monthly subscription and it shows up at your door and you cook it. Like, there's not a technological innovation there. It's a business model innovation. It's just doing the same thing we do with the grocery store differently. It's pretty smart, and people make a lot of money at it. I don't do it myself, but anyway. As it might relate to what you're actually building. So in that case, if you're particularly adept at relevant, complete software stack that the end-to-end solution that would be required for such a thing, that's kind of interesting or relevant. At the other end, if it's more about a technical innovation, yeah, you've got a new artificial intelligence goal for, you know, automating marketing so that no one ever has to type copy into an ad. Yeah, okay, let's make sure you're an AI expert or you have some sort of evidence there. So, I don't know. All right.
More questions?
I'll just say who we are. It's okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the KSTC is a statewide organization. We do tech-based economic development. There's a lot of economic development that Kentucky could use and get really excited about, whether that's real estate, recruiting big companies, supply and logistics, all kinds of things. We focus on a little niche, not a little niche, a growing niche as technology is becoming ever present. And that's the kind of work we do. So we have a number of programs. The program that I work with is over there in the middle on the left. And then we have a lot of funders from state to national level. So that's our program. So we call it Keyhorse. We think of ourselves as the investment arm of KSTC. And we do that in cooperation with the state of Kentucky. So we actually manage state funds and invest those in companies looking for a return. Here's our team. We got some people. You know, people are good. People are important. So what we do is we invest in Kentucky-based companies, and usually those are the kinds I was trying to describe. They're high risk but high reward. They can't get a bank loan, but they're, you know, might make the next revolutionary thing, or find a thing that can grow fast or grow big. Right, that counts too. We invest all over the place, no particular type. I'm going to give you a real quick graph. You're not supposed to read this. I just want to show you in relative terms. Ignore that spike in the middle. This is back to that venture capital, that type of money that's going into Kentucky-based businesses to really make things get bigger. You know, they go in a number of industries, and there's a number there, but what's interesting to me is here's that same amount in Ohio. So here's us relative to Ohio. That's to scale, and those are numbers of going into Ohio-type tech businesses and businesses that could scale, whether they're, you know, regardless of the technology. And then that's California. And again, it's to scale, and I think that's now 1 pixel. That's Kentucky. So, well, hey, it's either sad or there's a lot of opportunity. I'm an optimist, yeah. So we've been working really hard for 20 years. made a lot of investments. We would really like to keep doing that and do that more, and we hope to keep it up. You can't see those logos, but there's some companies. They're all over the state. We have a process. We have an application. We do due diligence. We review the deal. We look and evaluate our belief that that company could scale and actually make a return. And then we have criteria. You can't read this, but it exists. It can give you a little bit of information, and you can find it on the website. Or Sabrina can help because she's really smart.
The sky's the limit, that's for sure.
That's all I got.
Well, thank you so much, Kelby. I really appreciate that. To wrap up kind of what he talked about, so what is your elevator pitch? And you did a fabulous job doing an elevator pitch for who Keyhorse Capital is, so I think you might have planned that just perfectly. So when you're looking at an elevator pitch, before I get the Kentucky SBDC to come up, who's your person? Who are you talking to? So imagine that you get on an elevator, say you're at a conference like at the SOAR Summit, and you get on the hotel elevator, and there's that person that you've been trying to track down or maybe stalking to get that conversation with, and you have 3 floors before you get out. How can you pitch your idea but leave them with enough to be curious in order to maybe confirm a meeting, something, you have just a few seconds with them. So who are you? What's the problem you're trying to solve? What's your proposed solution, and what's the benefit of your solution? And then, of course, repeat, practice, repeat, fine-tune it. The timing and the practice really is where it's at. You can do the same thing over and over, and the more you practice it, you're like, you know what, that product could be actually a little bit better if I did this. So I'll give you our SOAR Innovation Elevator Pitch as an example, because following this, we're going to do a speed pitch competition, and all of you, especially you youngins over here, we want you to be a part of it. So let's say I don't know you, and I get on the elevator, and we're trying to talk about SOAR Innovation. And I wrote it down because it makes me nervous. So our SOAR Innovation team supports entrepreneurs along all stages of their journey. Through our direct services and incredible resource partners, we help entrepreneurs advance and grow their idea and business more quickly and efficiently. So you kind of know, but there's a lot of questions there. What direct services?
I have some questions. Can we get coffee?
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. But seriously, all jokes aside, you want to quickly explain who you are, but you don't want to give away the whole farm. You want that meeting. You want that follow-up because you want to actually have the time to talk with them, and then hopefully it leads to a real pitch to where if it's an investor, whoever. So any questions on that before I hand it over to our incredible resource partners who was in that elevator pitch? Questions? All right, who's coming up? I think there's several of you. Can you switch to their presentation, please? Don't everybody come at once. It's not too intimidating up here. So while they're coming up, there is a sign-up sheet right next to the double doors. If you have an idea, it does not have to be a business. It does not have to be anything more than a thought in your head of maybe a product or something to make something more efficient, easier, whatever. We have a sign-up sheet. We are giving away 3 checks today. So please go sign up. We'd love to have you at the next session for the speed pitch competition. There you go, Ronnie.
Go ahead. I'll flip. You talk.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rodney Cool. I'm the business center director at the London Center. And Michelle Spriggs is with us, and she's in the Prestonsburg Center.
I'm in the Eastern Kentucky Center. I'm located in Paintsville, Kentucky. Mackenzie's here, and we are also in with the IRA. Did I say the acronym? Correct. And Judy Daniels is in there, so we've got a really great collaboration there in that office.
Hi everyone, I'm Valerie Henderson. I'm the business coach and center director in Berea, Kentucky. I've been with the KSBDC for almost 12 years now. Moved from Louisville, where I was with that center for 10 years, to Berea in 2019. And really happy to be here with all of you today.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rachel Bowling. I'm the Center Director and Business Coach at the Moorhead Center. I've been with the SBDC since 2019, and we're glad to have you guys here today. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, just a little bit about the Small Business Development Centers, just like our partners did earlier. Been around 40 years. We're kind of a quasi-government agency, so of course we're like anything else. We don't have any money for marketing for anything for that. Of course, we got centers statewide, and okay, we've got centers that are statewide. So wherever you're from in the state of Kentucky, we got a center close to you, no doubt. And we are sponsored by the U.S. Small Business Administration. There's a grant funding process that is done, and the University of Kentucky is our host. And then we have other stakeholders across the state as well. So, and they could be private partners that we have, chambers or an economic development agency or anything like that. So, okay. All right, so our colleague, Kelby, gave us some great information about how to do that pitch deck. And what we help you with at the Small Business Development Center is understanding those numbers. How many of you ever watched Shark Tank? Watch that? I love it when they ask a question and the guys don't know their numbers. Okay? If you want to know what not to do, watch a few of those and figure out, and watch a couple where they, where the investors just chew up the person that's trying to make a pitch and don't know their numbers. So you have to know your numbers. It's the only thing you really can do. And just like Kelby said, you can know a little bit about the product. They really don't care. They're numbers people. They want to know what they're going to get return on their investment. So a lot of things we do, we work with total sales and revenues, and we work on generating over a given period of time what that's going to look like. So we will annualize out numbers for them and help them with that. And then, of course, another important part of that is the profit margin. You kind of got to know it's gross profit and net profits, what all that looks like, and then what those margins looks like, and then customer retention. Sometimes we got a product that is in service already, so you kind of want to know how many you have, and it never fails. I can't ever think about watching Shark Tank, and usually in the first one or two questions is, what's your current sales, and how many products have you sold? They will ultimately ask that every single time. I can't think of a time watching it that they don't ask that. So you kind of got to know that. And I can give you a personal experience. I had a client that did handmade guitars. Okay. First thing I asked is, how many have you sold this year? He couldn't tell me how many guitars he had made. And then I said, well, if you don't know how many you made, how much have you sold this year? Couldn't tell me that either. I mean, two very basic fundamental questions that you have to know the numbers for when you have a business. I mean, it's just two things that you should be able to rattle off real easy. So I always know those types of things. And then, of course, who's your target market? Kelby hit on that too. Who are we going to sell this to, or who's my customer? You have to know who your customer is. And so at the Small Business Development Center, all these things, what we do is we sit down with you and we help you craft that pitch, and we help you to understand what these numbers are. We don't expect every person that comes in to know exactly what all this does. That's why we're here. We will help you put those together and then help you to understand how those numbers are formulated, and then what you do in order to relay that to a banker or to an investor, or even in a pitch competition. Michelle and I have done partners or have had clients. When we did the last SOAR Summit in Corbin, we worked with those clients, almost all those clients, and the three winners were clients of ours. And so, not saying that you got a better opportunity or better. Yeah, we produce winners. But it was because they had crafted their presentation. A lot of times in a pitch competition, you only get 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes they're 15. I think the one we did down there was about 10 or 15 minutes long. So, and it's just like Kelby said, it's a elevator pitch. There are tons of books out there that you can read to understand what that looks like. And, you know, it's just like you said, you get on the elevator and your person you've been trying to get a hold of, you actually get on the elevator with them and ride that up a few floors, and that's all the time you got with them. That's it. It's over. And so you got to really kind of be to the point and know exactly what you're talking about.
We have a really great software.
Yep.
It's called Live Plan that you can do slide decks with for a pitch competition. It really streamlines it. It's cloud-based, so you can work on it at your home, and we can actually work on it in our home or our office and help you with it. And it's really it simplifies it.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah, the like she said, the software program we use that. It's the pitch deck. I believe is no more than 4 pages by the time you
Typically,
finish it.
You're looking at 10 to 20 slides when you're doing a pitch competition. No
Yep.
more.
Yep.
You want to make sure it's clear, concise, to the point. You need to know, it's got some nice graphs in it. You don't really put numbers out there. Your numbers are contained within your graphs. You do need to know your numbers. I mean, basically, as a business owner, you need to know what your target market is, what your profit margins are, what you're doing in sales or what you anticipate to do in sales. You're not actually in business yet. So you need to know those numbers. If you're not for sure how to project those, we can assist you with that too. Yeah.
Yeah, if we could go to the next slide, I'll talk about that. So, what we're talking about is helping entrepreneurs envision their future. One of the first questions I ask folks is, what do you anticipate success looks like to you? And when we start off with helping them develop a pitch, an elevator pitch, in my mind, what I'm doing too is helping them organize their thoughts. Because kind of like what Rodney expressed is that when they come to us, they're not always organized. There's a lot of ideas swirling around up there. So for me, the elevator pitch is the beginning of helping them do that. It helps them with marketing. It helps them deliver a cohesive message. If they've got it down, what they're going to say about their business, then they can walk right into the pitch competition. So I like to use a break-even formula because, I often think when they come to me, they think I have a crystal ball. No, none of us do. But we want to help them envision what that future would look like and that those numbers would be based in reality. So we kind of start with the total possibility and we work back from that because I want them to envision their success. And so just like the numbers that we talked about just a minute ago, gross income, a lot of folks don't know what cost of goods are, what it costs them to make or deliver their service. And so we start with that, and then we go to the fixed expenses. This is a formula to determine that, to envision what that break-even point might be, what they're trying to reach, and then to go beyond it, because of course a break-even point isn't profit, but you're covering your expenses. So the second part of that is knowing your fixed expenses each month. What are those that never change? They're not related to sales. It could be the rent on your space. It could be your insurance. It could be all of those things. I try to encourage them to put in a salary for themselves. Because again, I feel like if you don't set those goals, if you don't have a target, how are you going to know when you make it, when you have a bullseye? So those fixed expenses plus the gross profit, or divided by the gross profit, is going to be their break-even point. And we talk to them about, is that break-even point daily? Is it monthly? Is it, if you're at a trade show or something, is it at that show? It's always being aware of what the numbers are that you have to hit, because if you don't know those, you're not going to make them. They remain unknown.
All right, so the services that we offer here at the SBDC, of course, we offer one-on-one business coaching. It's all confidential coaching that we offer. We can help small businesses that are already in business with if they're seeking capital. We can conduct market research, again, for businesses that are already in business, and then providing connections for your small business resources. We work a lot with SOAR. We work with Mountain Association. We have so many different outlets that we are able to work with and are able to get you in contact with. So we have a wide range of people that we can get you in contact with to point you in the right direction if we need to.
I just thought of one thing I wanted to add to that, and thinking about something that Kelby shared with us about the type of things that you'd like to see up front. And you described from an investor's perspective what they want. They don't always want the full business plan with all of the numbers. We help folks at all different levels, so we might use the business model canvas. We talk to folks about if they're interested in crowdfunding, what needs to be in place for that level of funding. So we really do try to listen to the clients and understand what's going to be the best fit for them and the tools they need in place to get there.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Awesome. So before you all leave, I really encourage you, because you don't normally have this chance to actually talk to all the wonderful SBDC coaches and Keyhorse Capital and have all these people in the room. So if you don't feel comfortable asking a question in front of everybody, please reach out to each of them. They're all going to be here for the speed pitch. Now's your time to get that one-on-one time to give your elevator pitch, or at least to get some sort of consulting, set up an appointment with them. They are a wealth of knowledge, Kelby. And yes, free is always a good thing. Yes, I love that. And I think that's one of the things not to put in your elevator pitch sometimes, just because then that's an extra surprise. You get to tell people like, oh, and by the way, our services are free. Same with ours. So any questions before we take a few-minute break? Sign-ups over here at the door. Please sign up. We are giving away 3 checks. Hi, Scott. Didn't see you in the back. So if you have any questions, feel free to come up and ask. We're going to take about a 10-minute break, and then we're going to start a speed pitch competition where we're giving away $500 to the first prize winner. If that entices you a little bit more, I'll tell you first place. Any questions?
Hey, Sabrina, one thing, I do want to recognize one of our, I don't know if we have anybody else in here, but we do have another resource partner in here with us, and that's David Shadburn with Park Federal Credit Union. Okay, good. But capital funding is important for everyone, and they've been a great partner, at least out of my area, because they're more in where I'm located at. But David's group has been great to work with. So if you're also looking for funding, besides our other investors, that's another group too. So
That is the beauty of our entrepreneurial
Support,
support network.
yes.
We have access to many
Unlimited resources, really.
So no matter what stage you're in,
Yep.
what idea you have, we have a resource for you amongst all of us, and we all collaborate together very efficiently.
Yep. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Sign up by the door. Hello. If I can get everybody to go ahead and try to get a seat, we're going to get started. Welcome, welcome. I'm sorry to interrupt such good conversations that are happening everywhere. Everybody ready? Okay. So, this is our first annual speed pitch competition. Now, what is a speed pitch? You will have 2 minutes to get up here on the stage, grab a mic, and give your elevator pitch. We're giving away three prizes today: $500 for first place, $250 for second place, and $100 for third place. You do not have to have a existing business. This can be ideal concept, and I really encourage you. Can't make eye contact with someone we just signed up. I really encourage you that if this feels good for you, we also have an incredible Startup Appalachia pitch competition that will take place again next year, and the first place prize for it was $10,000. So this is a great way to test your theory, test your product, test the market. It was Rodney's client. Bragging rights to the Kentucky SBDC, one of our incredible partners. What is it? They produce winners. We're going to put that on a shirt, Rodney. Hey, come up here and pitch that idea. So really, this is to have fun. So don't be nervous. If you have an idea, if it's just a theory, if you can think of some way to make some process better, now's your time to shine, and you could leave with a big old check. I can't send you those checks because the bank won't cash them, but we will get you the money. So before we begin, I would like to introduce, I believe Rodney got volunteered as tribute to give a quick elevator pitch on the Kentucky SBDC. I guess they didn't tell him. And then we're going to introduce David Shadburn, Park Community Credit Union, to give a quick spiel on how to pitch to a banker. So before we begin, I guess JC's doing it now. Oh, somebody's got to come. All right, come on, JC. All right, so just a quick elevator pitch from both of them, and then we're going to dive straight into the pitch itself.
And do we have a timer? Okay, 2 minutes. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is J.C. Phelps, and I work with Rodney in the London Center of the Kentucky Small Business Development Center. Now, if you haven't heard about the Kentucky SBDC, the Kentucky SBDC has assisted the Commonwealth's business community for over 40 years. We have statewide service centers serving all 120 counties, and we do this at no cost to you, thank you to a co-sponsorship through the United States Small Business Administration and many other partners. Now, what is it that we do? We work with potential entrepreneurs. You have an idea, you want to look at the feasibility, you want to look at a business plan, the financials, and we can help you decide in analyzing that market if this is an idea you want to approach. Maybe you're in business and you need additional funding. You need help marketing to leverage new audiences to funnel in and create revenue. Maybe in hard times you wanted to come to us because it was COVID and your revenues were down, and we had to talk about pivots or how you could scale down potentially to preserve the business. The Kentucky SBDC, as we often say, is a friend to the small business community, and we take great pride in being a friend. So we are here to provide unbiased advice to you through one-on-one consulting, and our consulting services always are anonymous, so you know that when you're talking to us, the parameters of the conversation stay between you and I. We are both in person at times if you're in our region, or Zoom, so no matter where you are in the state of Kentucky, the Kentucky SBDC is here for you. Thank you.
Everybody give him a hand. JC, you couldn't have gave a better example of what an elevator pitch was, because that was 1 minute and 38 seconds. So good job. Good job. All right, David, you want to head on up?
That's that part after phone.
Oh, you come on up. Thank you.
Well, hello, everybody. My name's Dave Shadburn. I'm the Executive Vice President of Park Community Credit Union. Now, if you're like a lot of people, you don't know what a credit union is, or maybe you've heard of Park Community Credit Union. But a credit union, the industry movement really started about 100 years ago when groups of individuals saw that traditional financing arms were not meeting their needs. So groups of individuals got together and started financial cooperatives. So Park Community Credit Union, like all credit unions, are not-for-profit financial institutions. So we look at things a little bit differently, different lens, because profit is not the motivating or the main motivator for our institution. We also are a cooperative, which means the people we serve, our members, our customers, are our owners. So once again, everything we do is to help the members. So we have a wide variety of products, including a micro-commercial loan program that is basically an interest-free loan for entrepreneurs. So check us out on that. Also, when you're doing a pitch for a bank, we're looking for things a little bit different from the venture capitalist. Each financial institution, each capital source has a different risk appetite. So when you come and do a pitch for a bank, you have to have things more in line. And that's where our friends at the SBDC comes into play. And they are very critical. We work very closely with them. You have to understand what you have, your product, your market, the income projections, and what financial institutions are looking for is a definition or your business plan as far as how this is not a risky business or as risky as other businesses so that the financial institution can get paid back. So that's going to be an important concept there. So I'll be hanging around. If you want any other perspectives from a banker standpoint, check me out. I'll be here.
I gotta say, David, you beat JC by like 3 seconds. So you know what? These are professionals. Before we begin, I just want to reiterate, this is for fun, okay? Don't get nervous. Don't get at the mic, freak out. This is fun. We're all friends here. This is a safe space. And the biggest thing is, if you get up here and pitch your idea, or not if, but when you get up here and pitch your idea, you have people in your corner already in this room. So you have the SBDC, you have David, you have Kelby, you have everybody here, as well as SOAR. So come up and talk with us. Let's take that idea, turn it into the next step, and we'd love to see you at the Startup Appalachia Pitch Competition next year. So we will begin, and let's see. Some of the handwriting is a little hard to read. Let's see. Let's start with Ethan. Where is Ethan at? Yes. Now listen, the confidence. There you go. The confidence I heard earlier was very impressive, so I'm excited to hear this one.
I do have a lot of confidence. But hello, guys. My name is Ethan Biddle, and I'm here to pitch you guys what I call Media Go, a little bit of a business that me and my friends with the media department at Johnson Central started together. So let's say you're Mikey Jarrow over here. You're not very smart with either cameras or videography. I'm not saying that he's not smart. I'm just saying you don't know much about cameras, videography, but you want to bring a lot of traction into your business. So you need a commercial. You'll come to us and you'll be like, hey, I need a commercial shot. I need you to come whenever like he needs us, we're there for him. He needs us to come. We'll shoot him a commercial and we'll get him off, and he'll have tons of business coming in right after we shoot him that commercial. Same thing with videography. I mean, same things with just like normal video, live broadcast, or photos. We're always there. You know, we have the people over here, Solar Car. You know, recently I just filmed a thing promoting their solar car. Hopefully that they have people come in and do things for them. We're also looking to go and start into like a little bit of a website so that people outside of the school, or maybe people a little bit outside of our area, come in and can put down what they want, and we'll come in, we'll give them a price quote. You know, we don't have any set prices because video, photography, live stream, it's all completely different, and prices completely range depending on what type of job you want. So we'll go in, we'll tell them a little bit of a quote, and if they need us, we'll go in and we'll do that for them. We've also been doing a little bit of our target research for like who our target market would be, and a lot of our target market is usually for either people with lots of money who would rather put their job off so they can focus on something else to somebody else who can do it, or maybe people who just aren't as smart with, let's say, you know, cameras, videography, different things like that. That's where we come in, Media Go, and we help you out and get all this stuff done. And that's pretty much just my business. I know it's a little short, a little sweet, but that's pretty much just Media Go. Thank you, guys.
Let's give Ethan a hand. It takes a lot of confidence to come up here, even though, you know, this is a safe space. It still takes confidence, so we appreciate, and especially having our youth up here on the stage. Great job, Ethan. All right, Lauren, she came in on our JOT form, so I want to make sure she's here. Yes, come on down. And also, if you are pitching, I will give you a little hand signal when you have 30 seconds left. I forgot to mention that. The floor is yours, my dear.
Good morning. My name is Lauren Rachel Pugh, and I'm a sophomore at Redbird Christian School. As a young girl trying to find the perfect Sweet 16 cake, I couldn't find a reliable source for a tasty, customized, delicious dessert in my area. I took this as an opportunity to use a passion and talent in my community alongside my I took this as an opportunity to use my passion and talent to help my family and my community, working alongside my grandmother, learning our family's heritage. For the past 3 years, I've been successfully market testing cakes and cookies to rave reviews with my business, Lauren Sweet Treats. My business has grown not only through word of mouth, but through my Facebook page, Lauren Sweet Treats. Now it has over 300 members, and I've made around $2,500 just this year in sales. Weddings, baby showers, birthdays, you name it, I've done it. If I win, I will use this money to buy a food projector so I can print edible images and make customized cakes. Also, I will buy a cookie projector so I don't have to freehand cookies, and I can write whatever words that you want on there in whatever font you want. As a teen, I took the passion and need in my community and turned it into a business that one day I dream will turn into a storefront. As the saying goes, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
That was incredible. Great job. All right. Next, please forgive me if I say anything incorrectly. Amen? Is that right? No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. At least you're still using cursive. I thought they quit doing cursive in high school these days. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all. I'm Aman Patel, and we are students from the engineering program at Johnson Central High School. And we are building a fully sized drivable solar car, and this is a project that has never been done at our school before.
We at Eagle X use your help in a variety of different ways, whether it's through material donations, for example, our recently received TIG welder that we've used, through cash donations or other capital assets, publicity, or even maybe an engineering device. We could use your help, and it would be greatly appreciated.
So what do you get with your partnership? Well, not only will you get your name on the car along with bigwigs like the University of Kentucky College of Engineering, but you'll also be shown on the news at a local level or at a national level when we take the car to the Texas Speedway.
You're not only just investing in a car, though. You'll be investing in a region that is trying to advance opportunities for young engineers, welders, and other careers. This will help put students in the spotlight to gain scholarships and useful knowledge to help advance their careers.
If you would like to know more information about the solar car, you can come visit our school, Johnson Central High School, or you can also visit our website, eaglexsolar.com. Thank you.
Is the future bright or what? My goodness, this is going to be tough competition. Before the next person, who is Scott Murphy, if you want to head on up this way, I would just like to take a moment. If you were here earlier, you've already heard this, so sorry for repeating myself. But today at noon, we're going to give a very special check to Johnson Central. They have been doing our fabulous video production here, filming these sessions. We also got all of our lettuce from their new container farm there at their school. So they will be getting a $2,000 check today at lunchtime. So give them a hand. Yours, sir.
Thank you. Has the timer started?
Oh, sorry.
All right, just want to make sure. Hi, my name is Scott Murphy. I am Director of Community Outreach with Ray Mesep Homes, but I come to you today to represent Healthy Choices, Healthy Communities Coalition. This coalition has formed in Boyd County, Kentucky. It serves a 5 co-region, northeastern Kentucky. And I am the chair of the Substance Use Disorder Work Group for this coalition. And we're currently planning our 4th annual Bridges Out of Addiction Symposium. I'm glad we got to meet today because I've seen you at this conference and I've really wanted to pick your brain and ask you about your thoughts today about substance use. And so as we continue to plan our Bridges Out of Addiction Symposium, we have gathered national speakers such as Jan Rader out of Huntington, also seen on Netflix, Van Ingram, as well as other speakers from Frankfurt. And so we've already secured, I just forgot her name. We also have secured Judge Davis. So Judge Davis is out of Michigan, and she has successfully formed a coalition that has went from harm prevention, reduction, all the way through treatment. So she will be coming to speak to our community. So I wanted to approach you today and ask you for your support. Your support will help continue to educate our community on combating the opioid crisis that we continually face today. Thank you.
Great. That was great. Fabulous. You all are killing it. Like, nobody's got even close to the 2-minute mark, so kudos to you all. Pamela. Where is Miss Pamela? Come on down. I love your jacket.
Oh, thank you.
Very pretty.
Good morning. My name is Pamela Hall, and I'm with Kindred Communications. I live in Ashland, Kentucky. Kindred Communications has 6 radio stations. We are licensed in West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio, and we like to help businesses grow. And our stations are award-winning stations. If you need a station with a broad reach, then you want our station 93.7 The Dog. It is a 100,000 watt station. I've listened to it in the parking lot of Jenny Wiley. It also goes up to Chillicothe, Ohio, Charleston, Portsmouth. That's the one that you want. If you want to reach men, if you have a product that reaches men, then you want our station 92.7 The Planet. Our listeners on that station are 90 to 95% men. If you want to reach women, if you have a spa or something like that, a dress shop, then you want 97.9 The River, because those listeners are 90% women. If you need to reach an older demographic, then you want 101.5 Big Buck Country. It is a classic country station that plays George Jones, Waylon Jennings, all the oldies. So that's the station you want. If you have sports-minded, then we have 2 sports stations as well. So we have something to cover all of those. We also do digital advertising, and we do it better than anyone. And the click-through rate, the national average is 0.06%. We strive to get 0.1%, and normally we get at least 0.25%. So we get way over the national average. We can geofence your competitor, send them, the people that go to his store, your ads, and also tell who comes back into your store. So we like to help businesses grow, and it's an affordable process and all that. So we want to help you out and help your business grow. We also have apps for all of our stations, so you can advertise from anywhere. The good thing about digital advertising is that we can do it anywhere in the country. We do it for my brother in Chattanooga, so we can do it anywhere in the country. So let Kindred Communications help you grow.
Fabulous. That was a fabulous job. I know I'm going to be switching my radio station when I get back in the car on the way home. Who knew that we had so many folks from Ashland? I'm headed back that way as well, so very cool. Let's see. Last name Wells. I'm sorry. I'm trouble of reading. Okay, Javon. There we go. Javon, you're on up.
I'm Javon Wells, and I'm with Kentucky State Parks. And have you ever looked at your meetings and wondered, how can I get my attendees to be more interactive, get them more involved in what's going on, and make it more memorable? We can do that for you at Kentucky State Parks. I'd love to share with you ways that we can open them up socially, physically, and meet all of those needs that you have in your meetings. So we have many places all across the state that we can open up those needs for your meetings to make them that memorable, interactive, and productive meeting that you're looking for. And I don't want the money. I can't take it. So I was just practicing my elevator speech.
Well, you killed your elevator pitch. That was incredible. Awesome, awesome job. And last but certainly not least, come on. Come on, Mikey. Everybody give Mikey a big hand. He might have been forced into this.
In trouble. This probably won't be a good pitch because I'm mad and angry. I've been hoodwinked, kidnapped, and I've lost 3-4 friends in all this. I was not going to do this. I had no intention of doing this. But anyways, my name is Mike Gerald. I'm a barber in Paintsville, Kentucky. And I had a issue and a problem that every single person in my profession has, and it's cutting kids' hair. You may not do it every day, but you will if you're in this profession. Have kids that are afraid, scared, and every barber, cosmetologist person has a trick, a trade. They do something, and mine was I would pretend I was driving monster trucks on the kid's head, making the sounds and pushing dirt. And literally at 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up out of a dead sleep. I had the thought, I was like, man, it'd be cool if that clipper guard actually looked like a monster truck. So I invented kitty guards. It's a clipper guard that looks like a monster truck. So when I'm cutting the kid's hair, I either let them hold a mirror or I face them towards the mirror, and it actually looks like you're just driving trucks on their heads. This product is already out. You can check it out on Facebook and Instagram. It's Kitty Guards with a Z, and I actually just made my first sale on Amazon on Saturday, so it was a pretty amazing thing. It's been a long road to get there, and so my company is Kitty Guards. That is the product. I do want to say this, though. Ethan made a joke. This is my alma mater, Johnson Central. Proud of Johnson Central this week. Seeing them all over the place. Let me throw this out there. But Ethan made a joke towards Mikey Gerald because Ethan came in my barbershop and shot my commercial for Kitty Guards, so his business is for real. Also, Mark Shepard's here, the engineering department. I had an idea. Something in my head and scratched out on a piece of paper, walked in Johnson Central, sat down with Mark Shepard in his engineering department, and they printed off my very first prototype to give me something tangible that I could even start with. So it was great. So kudos to everybody, and these guys love you all, and just good luck to everybody. Thank you. I'm Mike Gerald.
For someone so mad, you sure are happy. So I'm just going to say that. You did a fabulous job. So my friends at the SBDC, and David, could you help us as well? We're going to judge these and give away some checks. In that time, where did Terry go? I lost you, Terry. Did he leave? He was going to give us a quick spiel. Kelby, did Terry leave? He did. I was going to let him wrap up while we were... Okay. Well, we had a really cool story about a real-life elevator pitch that came to fruition, and how much money was secured? $2 million? $2 million, maybe. A really, really cool story. I'll have to, I guess, email it to y'all because he was going to give that elevator pitch. But
let me add one thing about the elevator pitch. I got caught off guard in my barber shop and thought I was catching up with an old friend and had to give my elevator pitch in his driveway to secure the investment for this minor project. Now, I didn't know I was doing it, but I had thought the numbers out, so the elevator pitch is real, and it really isn't good. So
there you go. You caught off guard, right? There you go. Mikey, should you just come back up and take the mic? You're doing a better job than I am. Come on. Okay. Well, it's true. Elevator pitches, they might seem small in theory, but it's the biggest way to really set your idea into a whole new direction. So please, next year, we have a Startup Appalachia pitch competition. Reach out. You will be harassed if you don't join. So... Just saying. All right, we're going to take a couple of minutes. Tony, can you play some music? It's not awkward silence. Okay, give us a minute. We're going to give away some checks. All right, the moment you all have been waiting for, if everybody could get a seat, we're going to present some checks today. So while our friends come up to introduce, hang on just one moment. Dot our I's, cross the T's. I almost said that backwards. Let's see. Confirm. Good? All right, I'm going to hop down here because I'm going to take pictures as well. So when we announce the winner, please come up, stand for a minute. We're going to hand you a check. I'm going to take a picture, and then you get to go fill out some paperwork for me so we can actually give you money. So hang around out front. All right, third place. Where is Miss Lauren? Congratulations, Lauren. Tell us again, where can we find you so we can order some amazing treats?
We have a Facebook page. Lauren Sweet Treats on Facebook.
You are sweet as pie. Hang on just a second. We didn't think this through for pictures. Y'all can keep clapping for us so we don't have an awkward silence. Awesome. If you hang out up front here, I've got some paperwork you'll have to fill out, and you can take that with you. Don't think they cash those at the bank, though. All right. Second place. Where is my solar car group? Might have to filter in between each other there. Yep, you all come on in. Thank you to my clappers back here. Nothing worse than a little awkward silence. All right. Woo-hoo. Fantastic job. I'll pay you guys later. That's awesome. All right, the suspense. Yeah, we'll need you to fill out paperwork. Will we talk with you about the paperwork to fill out for them, or how does that work? Over here. All right, we'll get with you. All right, and the moment we have all been waiting for. Now, while I have you here, and I'm going to build a little suspense, thank you so much to our amazing sponsors. They're on the stage for a reason, so thank you, the Kentucky SBDC and Park Credit. And again, we have our Startup Appalachia pitch competition next year. Lots of money. Work with SOAR Innovation, work with the Kentucky SBDC, work with all of our incredible financial opportunities. The moment is here. First place, Mr. Angry Bird himself, Mikey Gerald. Get up here. He was not going to compete, but he had some friends who signed him up. So let's give him one more big round of applause. That concludes the speed pitch competition. Again, thank you all so much for coming. Lunch will be over at the concession stands. We have an amazing plenary session this afternoon. Johnson Central will see you to get your $2,000 check at noon. And thank you again. Mix and mingle. Be sure to talk to all the people here, and we'll see you at 11 for lunch.